Hello, everyone, and welcome to another exciting episode of the ProBar Fireside Chat Virtual Series. And here is where we have open and insightful conversation about product management, growth, and innovation. I'm Muhyideen Akanni. I am a proud moderator and mentor here at ProBar, the community where product minds connect, learn, and grow together. Today with me, we have our Oga Patpatan. I think one thing that Isaac doesn't know, I've known him years back. I think 2020, that's like, was it 2020 or 2019 thereabouts, where we were still doing Product Manager Africa. I think that year I was like joining a lot of products community, and I joined. I think you were co-founding then, and learned a lot of stuff. I'm still in that community anyways, but I don't know if you left or you are still doing. But I don't used to see you as I used to see you that year. Welcome, Isaac Durotoye. Isaac Durotoye over the years has been doing great, amazing stuff in product. I think, like I said, he was a co-founder for at Product Manager Africa. He was at he was doing product management for eTransact International at the time. Also, Seedcap, Moniepoint. He was also at Block. I think I get to get to know him more and more personal when you were at Block, because I think I was speaking to a lot of guys I know you at that time. So yeah, I think you were also a sharer and a member of product school. That's like anything anybody can wish for. Like product school is like maybe today the highest place that you can get a badge as a product manager, right? And doing something very insightful. And also at the time, you were also like heading a huge bank product at the time at Sterling Bank, right? I've been opportunity to work with Isaac at the time, and I was just like, what is going on? What is going on? When do people get all this knowledge from, man? And yeah, I'm very excited that you are here. And one of the reasons why I love what we are discussing today, because you are like the perfect fit for it, right? You've grown so much. And I think our topic today is product development. And it is not just about product development, it's building products that actually matters, right? How do you take a product from concept to something that actually becomes million in use, right? And if there's something I know of, it is that you've done this over and over again, right? Looking at all of the product that you built, projects that you've had to like dig your hands into, and impact that you also do on people's products without actually being in the company and stuff like that. I think I will leave the floor for Isaac to just do a little walkthrough about himself. Yeah, over to you, Isaac.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for that intro, Muhyideen. That was a whole lot. My name is Isaac Durotoye, and I'm just another product manager here, trying to make impact in Africa and trying to help us build products that actually meaningful and products that impact people's lives. Just like Muhyideen have said, I think I've spent quite a number of years in the fintech space, building quite a number of fintech products. I've also touched on a few other industries like the edtech, which I think I hardly talk about. Spent quite a couple of years in edtech, done some couple of stuff in logistics, but not very, very extensive, right? But core, I think my core focus has always been on building fintech infrastructure. Thank you for inviting me here, and it's a privilege to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, we are super glad to have you here, honestly. All right. I think let's dive into where we are here today. There's like a lot of product out there, and people really find it hard to know, is this really going to be the next big thing, right? How am I? What are those things that I need to have in place for me to know that, oh, yeah. I mean, there's another thing to have a product and users are using it, right? But is it actually going to be something big, big, big? I mean, somehow a lot of us have built something that's, I mean, at the point of launch, you have like at least some quite number of users, but I mean, do they come back using it? Does it actually turn out to where you pictured it to be and all those stuff, right? So, I mean, I would then throw the questions to you that how do you take product from concept to something millions actually use, like millions of users actually use today? I mean, that's like where you get to before you start. I mean, people announce that they are doing the next big thing. Immediately they have some millions of users. So yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. I think that's one of the biggest questions, or that's one of the biggest aspiration any product person would want to have, right? Where they build their products from, where it is, as in where they build their products and they want to build the next unicorn, they want to build the next multi-billion-dollar, multi-billionaire business, they want to build the next products where they have 10 million, 15 million, 20 million, 100 million users, right? Well, first of all, I would like to say that the biggest mistake most people make is that they fall in love with that big picture so much that they forget that they have to start from somewhere, right? And I'm going to use physical example. I'm going to use our normal day-to-day example, right? For those of us that are in Lagos, that are in Nigeria, today, if you go to places like Ikoyi, you go to places like Lekki and other places, other parts of Lagos State in Nigeria, right? You notice there are quite a number of abandoned building projects, right? Many of them are supposed to be probably skyscrapers, like multi-story skyscrapers. Many of them have to be, some very massive mansion that people would come and say, and they'd be like, wow, what a project this is, right? Or what a beautiful building this is. And the good thing about those projects is most of them actually have a solid plan. They have 3D renderings that you see the picture and you love the picture so much. But how do you go from that architectural design, that beautiful architectural design, to actually implementing or building that skyscraper? It starts with laying the right foundation, right? You don't just wake up and build say a 50-story skyscraper, or you just wake up and build a 10-story building just like that. No, you actually have to start with foundation laying. So the same thing in product, right? I will literally break the product development phase into 3. Okay. The first phase is what I call the foundation laying, and that's where we have the problem solution fit. And what is problem solution fit? Problem solution fit doesn't start with so going back to the building, right? Problem solution fit doesn't start with mixing the cement. You go to the market to find out first, this building I want to raise, is it something that can work in this environment? Can I raise it in Yaba? Can I raise it in Abuja? Can I raise it in Alaba market? Can I, the banking hall, do I have the money to even do it, right? Are people willing to live in this building? If I finish building it, are they willing to live in it, right? So you have to do a lot. Do people have, as in what I'm trying to do, is it the problem people really have? So most of the times we spend we spend a lot of time on the solution space, like, oh, I want to build this beautiful skyscraper, but we've forgotten that it's humans that will use those skyscrapers, right? We've forgotten that it is human that will use that particular digital products that we're trying to build, or even physical products, other non-digital products that we're building. How much do we understand the problem those people have? That is where we're supposed to spend a whole lot of the time, right? Is it better we build, even though we want to build skyscrapers? Is it better we build? What's it called now? We build bungalows for these people. Are they, as in, do they have phobia for, do people in this area have phobia for heights, right? Do they have what it takes to maintain, right? Can they maintain skyscrapers? Are these the kind of lifestyle these people live? Are they the kind of people that will pour water from 10-story building all the way down, right? Or they are the kind of people that would want to play rough. They have children that will play rough, and all sort of stuff. So most of the times, the foundation laying many times actually have faults, and that's what stops a lot of products from becoming that big and successful products that we are actually looking out for. So the foundation laying, which is the problem solution fit, is the first part that we should actually look at. Then the next one is what I call this popular word that has been abused, the minimum viable product. I just came back from a product conference where a whole lot was said about minimum viable products, right? It's that product that you give to your users to actually validate whether that problem do exist, right? So if I want to build skyscraper, one of the things I might do is, should I build the first floor first? Let me build the first floor, right? And let me put a lift, right, on a just 2-story building. Maybe I'm thinking of building 50 stories. Are they able to use the lift? Are the buttons functioning properly? Does the lift hook along the way? Maybe when they get to a certain level, the lift will just hook them and they can't do any other thing. So you have to build that in the smallest possible part of your product first, that allows your user to use and have a feel and a taste of your product. Sometimes we don't even need to write any code to test out your product, right? It could be that you just create a WhatsApp group to solve that problem, right? I'm doing a project with I was doing a project with some people, right? And it's a fintech. They're trying to build a fintech product, but one of the things they do was, before they even build as a technology solution, they create a WhatsApp group that allow people to do financial transactions. So they create multiple WhatsApp groups, right? So they want to do financial transaction. They do that financial transaction on those WhatsApp groups, and they're able to record success, right, on those WhatsApp groups. So this success they're able to record on each of those groups become the solid ground on how they ideate and how they decide to build their product. So that's actually what I'll call the first floor, right? The MVP. So am I able to build it right? Are we able to transact? What are the problems we have? What are the bottlenecks these people have? Are we able to solve the problem of trust, right? Will people even transact with us when we transition into this? Do we need to build a solution that will make our own internal operations better while they continue with what they're very comfortable with, right? So those are the kind of things that we take a look at when we are trying to build our product. Then the next phase is what I call the iterative building, right? Or I also refer to it as the loop. That's the third phase, right? And that third phase is, as you're watching these people, you are trying to find out, right, what are the complaints that they have? What do they have? How does this complaint affect them? And how do they move, from how do we help them solve this problem that they have with this complaint? So I would say in some way that to build product for 1 million people, you don't start building product for 1 million people, right? You actually start building product for 10 people. Are these 10 people satisfied with it, right? If those 10 people are satisfied with it, how can we expand and build for the next 100 people, right? But you must first solve for the first 10 people. Then you solve for the next 100 people. You solve for the next 1,000 people. You solve for the next 10,000, the next 100,000, the next million, the next 10 million, and you go on and on and on like that. So you're able to build that product that is successful. Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, like you said it all honestly, right? I mean, if you do not validate what you have built, right? I mean, how do you then take it to millions? I mean, to hundreds and then thousands to millions, right? I mean, I think like that's why there's something that they call, strategy and growth in products, right? I mean, first is to validate that. I mean, does this actually solves solves a problem for your users? And that's where you mentioned that. I mean, that's where you build an MVP to actually know that, hey, does this solve? I mean, first off is where you said, I mean, you don't actually need to even build an MVP, where you should we just need to like carry out some surveys to even understand. There's another thing to know the problem, and there's another thing to know how to make sure that when you solve it, people are going to get used to it. Use the product basically, right? I've seen a case where you're actually building a solution, right? But there is another problem of adoption, right? So there's a lot that goes on, honestly. There's really a lot that goes on. And I love that how you've been able to like answer all of this. In short, this is a problem that happens between internal teams and the product management team or the engineering team, right? This is how do we balance this, right? To make sure that usually it is that you say, oh, tentatively we are going to like launch this at this certain time, right? But then there's a lot of stuff that comes in. Maybe sometimes it might not even be from your team. It might be because of like some partnership that you're doing to actually do some part of like the product to make it ready and all those stuff, right? How do you balance shipping fast and building something very reliable?
So you're talking about speed and quality, right?
Yeah.
That's very, very important. Thank you so much. So I'm going to use something. I think I've made a lot of this joke for the past 2 weeks. I had a new friend from our competing country. Our competing country, and I don't think there's a day we talk and we don't talk about jollof rice, right? I don't want to mention any country name, right? But we always talk about jollof rice. I always fight about it, right? And I think I'm going to use that as an example in terms of speed and quality.
Yeah.
For the women in the house, right? And other people that love cooking. I don't, anyways. But other people that love cooking and the women in the house that might love that too. There's something very interesting and unique about jollof rice. If you cook it fast, right? If you rush it, you're going to burn it.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
And if you are too slow about it, everybody in the house will be hungry.
Yeah.
Right. So that's actually, I think that's a very good example of balancing speed and quality. So here are the things in terms of speed and quality. First of all, I'm going to use fintech where I've actually spent a number of time, right?
Yeah.
There are things you cannot compromise when it comes to quality products. And those things form the core basis for your product, right? They are your core promise. So just like in jollof rice, there are things you cannot rush when you're building jollof rice. One, how you make your stew. You cannot follow shortcuts in how you make your stew, right? The stew for your jollof. You cannot follow shortcuts in how you parboil your rice or how you add the rice to it. However, when it comes to dressing your jollof, you can do a lot of shortcuts in dressing your jollof, right? So what I'm saying in essence is it's important for you to understand the core of your product. And in fintech, like I mentioned, there's one thing that's very important in fintech. Like almost every fintech does transfer, right? Almost every fintech move money from, in fact, all fintech move money from one place to the other, right?
Yeah.
You cannot rush in the name of, oh, I want to go to market very fast. So let's just build it. Let's just build it without having a proper ledger system. Let's just build it without caring about how many transactions are successful against how many transactions fail, right?
Yeah.
Because fintech is is a business of trust, right? It's important that you understand that part is your base, your stew base, right? And the rice that you are making for your jollof. You cannot just compromise about it. Okay, so you cannot compromise how you make that, right? My transfer must work as many times as possible and fail as little time as possible. So that means for every 100,000 transactions, how many times do I have failed transaction? Is it more than one? Is it more than twice? Right?
Mm-hmm.
But if we have a situation where for every 100 transaction, one transaction fails, that's 1%. That is too much. Way too much, right? Because you are losing trust with your users. So that core part is very important. However, there are parts you can compromise. referrer. You say, oh, refer 5 people and get your next 20 transfers for free, right? Those ones are not the core part of your product. You're not building a promotional product, right? So that's promotion just for you to boost the usage of your product. So when it comes to speed and quality, it's important for you to identify what is the core part of my product that must not be compromised, and what is the other parts that only, I mean, those are the ones we call nice to have, right?
Yeah.
You need to identify your nice to have. So your nice to haves might compromise on it in terms of speed, but your need or your must have and your must have and your need to have, they are not things that you should compromise on.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And I mean, this is like one of those things that, I mean, that every product manager needs to understand, right? You cannot be building a certain product, and this is what you preach about the product, the main thing that you preach about the product. Because I mean, usually, apart from like what you said, I mean, I cannot be talking about my product and you're talking about referrals, right? Logistics, for instance, you cannot be talking about delivery and you're not saying that, so what we have built is that when you refer people, no, that's not what you. So I mean, the main thing, you cannot be too fast on them, right? It's okay to like put some things and break it into multiple packs. I mean, and ship them one bit by bit. But I mean, if you are getting a pack done, then you have to like complete it. There's no rush around it, right? And I mean, and I also like that the use case that you use about jollof rice. If you are too fast with your jollof rice, you go burn out. And in short, let me now tell you, it is not that when you are too fast about it, right, you will burn it, right? People will eat and people will still be hungry because
And they will complain.
Exactly. And they'll still complain. So, and when and when you take your time, it means that, I mean, people will only complain, but at the end of the day, they will eat and have their food, right? I mean, so you just want to like
and
your host.
And you know what? I just want to quickly add this, just this phrase, just a single line phrase, right? That we build fast to learn,
Yeah.
right? But to build reliable to earn trust.
Yeah.
So remember, what am I building so that I can learn? Those are the things you can quickly build very fast. We are building this so we can learn. We just want to build it to learn. We are building it to experiment, right? You can build those ones fast, right? But when it comes to earning the trust of your users, if you go on Google today and you search for, unfortunately, you guys are not allowing me to watch my Arsenal match, right?
Apologies.
so if I go today and I go and Google Arsenal match and they're showing me Liverpool score instead, right? That's not reliability.
Yeah.
Right. So I just wanted to add that you ship fast so you can learn, then you build reliable so you can earn trust. Yeah.
Absolutely. Honestly, absolutely. I mean, if when you build fast, I mean, so you can learn is that, I mean, you're not sure whether you should add that into your product yet. So it's okay to just really build a very small part of it and say, hey, see, when I just ship this one, let's see if people are really willing to use it or not. But the core thing that your product is using, I mean, you want people to. So there's this thing I also heard from you where you say you want people to be by default, like your current users to actually be your product evangelist. Right? This is because you build trust in whatever that you built, that you say is the core, is the main thing in your product, right? And they are selling it and say, hey, whenever anybody talks about it, say, have you used this product? This is what I'm using. It's very fast though. They do this, so they will never fail. They will do all these things. So I mean, yeah, I totally agree on that, and thank you for sharing that actually. So yeah, one thing that I know is your core strength. I mean, you've been head, you've even co-founded a lot of things, and maybe you're even doing one in the low-key like this, and we don't know. But it's okay. Just let us know when it's out. We're happy to use it, right? I mean, what's like the secrets of getting engineering, design, and business team aligned in a development? This is like coming from how you're able to like lead cross-functional team. I mean, this is not even just engineering and design or business alone, right? I mean, even sometimes third party, sometimes, I mean, you might be building something that is the core, the back end is dependent on another company, right? So you're just like using your own tool. Maybe you just add one or two things to funkify the entire product. But yeah, somebody at the back is another partner, right? And how do you like manage this and make sure that everyone is aligned and development is going as should be, basically?
Okay, so I think I'll first answer your question in one word before I start breaking it down, right?
Mm-hmm.
The answer to that is, that's one word. Sorry, one phrase. Right, one phrase. Yeah. So the answer to that is one goal, one why. Right?
Yeah.
You don't set multiple goals and expect everybody to actually comprehend
everything.
Yeah. Exactly. So I love my club a lot. So I'm still going to use as a nice example, right? So
should be goodness.
you can't shame us, not at all, right? So you notice I think today we are playing Crystal Palace also, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's no time we are playing two clubs at the same time on the same pitch. That will never happen, right? And when we are playing that single club, we are aware that it's either a win or nothing. You are there on the pitch. It's either a win or nothing. So everybody have that goal, even though some people are like, people play the defense, some people play the midfield, some people are the strikers, there's the goalkeeper, right? There is, everybody played 11 different positions on the pitch, but everybody know that they are doing one thing. Their goal is to make sure they score the opponent, right? Now, the coach, right? The job of the coach, I'm not saying the pro manager is the coach now, right? But again, yeah, sometimes, yeah. So the job of the coach is to make sure that it comes up with the right strategy for the team to win.
Yeah.
Right. So there might be that maybe these guys they've been trying, and for them to penetrate into, I hope as I'm saying this, my club is not losing, right? Right. So the goal might be maybe they've been trying, right? And every time they want to hit the 18-yard box, right, there's just something that keeps blocking them.
Yeah.
Right. But because everybody have the same goal, they keep trying. Now, the job of the coach is to look into it critically and say, you know what? I think what's happening here is you guys are over concentrated, right? At the, maybe the center forward you guys are using that center forward a little bit more. The guy that's playing center forward should come back a little bit, right? So that you guys can create some openings for maybe the left winger or the right winger to score. I'm sorry for people that don't understand football here. I'm so sorry. I don't mean to, but I'm sure people that understand Jollof, and now I'm football people, right? So it might be that you might have to withdraw the center forward, right, to come back a little bit, right, so that while everybody concentrate on him, there is, by the way, we just got, thank God. Right. So by the way, so that they can have that opportunity, so that the wingers can have the opportunity to penetrate in. As a product manager, that's actually your job. You don't give two whys to your team at the same time. It's always one why, right? I remember one of the very old managers I have would always say something. She would say it is one band and one sound, right? Yeah. One band, one sound. No matter whether you are playing the tenor, you are playing the tom-tom, you are playing the hi-hat, no matter what you are playing the guitar, you are playing the piano, right? It is one band, and we must play one sound. Whatever you are doing must complement each other. You guys are not competing with each other. You guys are actually working together to achieve the same goal. And what is that goal? It is that main thing that the product manager focuses on. If the business goal is we are building this so that we can have, if the goal is we are building this so that we can increase our users by 10x, then everybody is working towards that 10x. If if this, for example, the sales guy who is not even part of the product trial, let's say the sales guy goes to the market and discover that for every 1,000 transactions that happen, right, 5 of those transactions fail. He doesn't need to say much. Me as a product person, I don't even need to say much. All I need to do is I can go to the market and, you know what, have a recording of that, come back and show it to my engineer. I'm not telling the engineer that what he has built is not working. I'm not telling him that he has not done well. I'm only showing him, see, this is the frustration my customers are actually going through, right? I went to the market, I speak with these customers, and I can see them. They even show me why they're trying to do transactions. I could see them clicking on this button 5 times, 10 times before it works. So we come back, the engineer sees it, that sparks a passion in him. And I make him realize that because this happened in 5 out of every 1,000, right? And we have maybe a certain number of transactions, this is making us lose so amount of money at the end of the month, right? That makes him know that, oh, you know what, if this is failing, we cannot even increase our users, because the more we have, the more the failures we have. It goes back and fix it, so that the next set of users that we're bringing on board have that sweet experience, and they don't even know that there is a problem anywhere. That problem had already existed. So it's a one goal, one why approach. That's what I've always, for me, that's been my approach. It has always been working, but it's never been easy.
Yeah,
thank you.
This last part does like explain, it's kind. In as much as we we want to say, it sounds easy. It's not always easy. Because you have to like keep reminding people, and you have to keep explaining why it is one sound and it is
one band.
Yeah, every other time, right? If everybody understand that, this is what we are working towards, so, and this is what we are trying to achieve, and it is not just only me in it, right? This will also like, because you said it is one band, it actually means that if I fall short in my guitar, it already means that we will not like get the actual one sound that we are trying to do. The one sound is the combination of the drummer, the guitarist, all of those guys in between, like to make the actual sound that they want to make. I think like this is like one of like the keyword I'm going to take away from this virtual series today. So yeah, I think I will just go into the next question, and which is that how much should data influence product decision? And at what point do you know that you see this data? No, I'm going to trust my intuition for this, right? Because it's both that work for product manager, but you just need to know when you want to use both. You just need to know at what point do you want to do this, right? I don't know if you get what I mean. Yeah. So
yep.
yeah. How much should data influence product decision, and when do you trust your own intuition?
Okay, so I would say that I want to say a lot of things at the same time here, right? So when it comes to data, right? There's this thing I always say, right? Your data is only as good as how much you can make out of it.
Yeah, that's absolutely
right?
Yeah.
If I tell you we have 500,000 users, right? And only out of 500,000 users, only 5,000 users. We have 500,000 signed up users, but only 5,000 users transact month on month, right? Yeah, everybody's going to tell me it's batch data, right? And somebody else will come and tell me, oh, you know what? We have 500,000 users and 50,000 users are transacting. However, we are running a promo that says transact once, right, and get the next transaction for free.
Yeah.
Then everybody come and they start transacting. Or somebody comes and say, oh, our month-to-month growth is 700%. How do you achieve that 700%? But the person did not tell you, you know what? We're running promo. We're giving people cash back each time they transact on our platform, right? So what I make out of data is important. I'm not saying 5,000 out of 500,000 is good, right? But it's also possible that maybe along the way we've pivoted and we just pick the top 5,000, maybe the top 15,000 users, and we build and optimize our products for those people. And we know that those 5,000 people that are transacting are actually the ones that give us the revenue we need. The other ones were signed up when we are still experimenting and we don't actually understand the exact users we need, or we've not really understand the cohort that we want to build for, right? So what I'm saying is your data will tell you the what, right? Your data will never tell you the why that is happening. Your data will not tell you why you've had 405,000 people not transacting on your products month on month, right? It will not tell you why you have only 5,000 people transact on your product month on month, right? So the three rules I always follow is I use data to find the problem, right? What has broken, right? Then you use intuition to form your hypothesis. Why is it broken, right? And I think intuition is where your product sense actually comes in, right? Then you go back to data again to test your hypothesis, right?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you now.
Okay, good. Yeah. So you use your data to test the hypothesis to know, did my freestyle actually fix the problem? So let's go back to jollof rice, right? Why is it that out of the 50 people that ate my jollof rice the first time, only 25 of them come back the following day to eat the jollof rice I cook again? Why has the remaining 25 not eat my rice, come back to eat the rice, right? So your data has already told you 50 people ate the rice the first day, only 25 came back the following day to eat, right? So your intuition could be, you now start checking, okay, could it be that it's too spicy or it's not spicy enough, right? If you're cooking jollof rice for people from certain part of Africa, we all know that they don't eat spices, right? So are they the majority of the people in the house at that time that don't eat spice, right? Or they are the typical Yoruba people that eat pepper, that they live and drink pepper, right? So if they're the Yoruba set of people, right, the Yoruba gang, and my food is not spicy enough, then most likely, maybe that might be the reason. So I'll go back and say, okay, let me increase the spice so that the 25 people that came back, right, would go back and inform these other people and say, you know what, this rice is improved. That's one way. Another way could be, apart from using your intuition, could be trying to find out from those 25 people that refuse to come back to say, what do you think I have done wrong? Right? What have I done wrong? What would you have loved to see that you've not seen? Right? So by the time you what's it called now? By the time you find those things out, then you'll be able to come back and say, okay, this is the reason. You go back and fix it. If on the third day you realize that your number has grown back to say 34, then you might want to persist on that and keep trying it. Okay, is it? If your number now begins to grow, 34, 42, 57, you keep growing like that and like that. So now, okay, you know what? I think this set of customers prefer the spicy food. Then I can continue making my spicy jollof, right? So those are some of the ways you can actually make use of data in making your core decisions.
Yeah. I mean, I totally agree with you. And there's one thing I would take away from your answer is that sometimes, right, data tells you what users do, right? I mean, but why they do it, it's your instincts and from your empathy and quantitative insights. That's what that fills in that gap at that time, right? I mean, it's only okay to say, 20 people eat my jollof rice, right? But if the data did not collect how many of them are Yoruba, how many of them are Igbo, how many of them are, you have to use your insights, right? I mean, instincts, sorry. And maybe over time, they now have it, like what you said, conduct an interview with like the other people and say, hey, why did you not say, I don't know? That thing is very peppery. And they chop pepper or an outside guy or maybe, it could actually be another. I mean, you can even have all of them as Yoruba, but there's a lot of them that that are coming
I know it's spice.
December. Do you get? They don't eat spice. They've stayed their entire life abroad. They only come home in December. Unfortunately, it happened in December and they came to eat your jollof rice, right? But they didn't come back the following day because I mean pepper is just way too much for them. All right. Thank you for that. I really appreciate this. This is another thing that is very, very important for product managers. Some people go into depression because of this, right? How do you handle products? I mean, handle failures in development, right? I've seen a lot of people that say, "You see this product management, I leave and for now." After you did, after you did like this thing just actually just go into his head, right? How did I feel? I had everything in place. Why I planned this and stuff like that. So can you share like these are like challenges that happens, and I mean and it's okay, right? I mean, to me, I know that it's okay, like for you to plan and it didn't go as planned, but how do you learn from this, right? How do you go over from this? How do you make this put you into depression? And how do you make this eventually grow an imposter syndrome in you as a product manager?
Okay, yeah. So I think one of the first things everybody that is venturing into product management should know, or every product manager should know, is failure is your early morning coffee, right? And failure is your bread and tea, as we say in Nigeria, right? Or early morning yam and fried egg, right? You should be used to failure, because the more you fail, the more you learn. The more you learn, the better you become. The better you become, the more your users like your product.
Yeah.
Right. So one of the but again, it's also important that one of the key things that we should think about are the risks, right? I think there are about 3 or 4 key risk factors, right, when building products, right? So you have 4 risk factors. We have the usability risk, where people use this product, right? And again, before I even mention those 4 risk factors, one of the key things I'm going to mention is you need to be able to validate, right? You need to be able to validate those these 4 risk factors before you even step out to build your product. It's very important. It might not be the full product, even if it's a small feature you want to modify, or you want to build out a new feature. Whether you want to build out a new feature or you want to modify a feature, right? You need to be able to make sure that you've considered all these 4 key risk factors, right? One of them is usability risk, right? Is this product going to be usable, right? Will users be able to use this product? Is this something that is very complex for them to use, right? And I'm also going to talk about who is responsible for each of those risk factors, right? So there's the usability risk. There is the feasibility risk. Is it feasible? Can we build it? Right? Is it something that we have the technical prowess or the technical know-how on how to build? Right? Today, everybody wants to build. Everybody says they're building AI products, right? Or every product is now AI, right? Even the ones that are doing regular or standard automation, they say it's AI, right? We have
even the ones that people are the AI behind it.
Exactly, So do we have what it takes to build this product? So do we have the technology? Is it something that is even possible in the first place, right? Are we ready to even spend a lot of money on experimenting on it? That's true. The third one is the viability risk. Is it business? Is it viable for business, right? Can our business actually what's it called now? Can our business really truly afford this, right? Is it the direction that we want to go, right? So I mentioned 3, right? So we have the viability risk, right? We have the viability risk. We have the feasibility risk, right? We have the usability risk. And what's the last one? Okay, yeah, we also have the value risk. Are my users getting value? Would they get value from this thing that they are using? Right? Now, let me quickly break each of them down in the next 1 or 2 seconds, right? Now, for feasibility risk, do we have the technology that can actually solve this? You as a product manager might not necessarily know whether that thing you want to build is feasible or not, right? So the person that's responsible for the feasibility risk is your technical guys. Your engineering manager knows that, right? You talk with your engineering manager to say, hey, we want to build this. Technically, is it technically possible? Can we execute this? Can we achieve this with technology? Right? Because when people come around and say, oh, you just do this, and you just do this sometimes, and you just feel like, I don't get it. What are you saying? What are you talking about? You know, it's not as easy as you think, right? It's just like saying, I can drive from Lagos to Abuja in 3 hours, right? The people that understand how motor cars work will tell you, and the people that also understand how Nigerian roads is like will tell you, sir, that's a mistake. Right? Even if you're driving the fastest car in the world, and as much as this same Lagos Abuja Express Road, it's not possible for you to achieve it, right?
So they will first ask you whether your car can fly to get context.
Exactly. You know, so I tell you, no, it doesn't work like that, right? So that's feasibility. So your engineers are responsible for your engineering manager, your CTO is responsible to handle everything that has to do with feasibility risk, right? So that's the technical risk. Now, in terms of usability risk, your designer is responsible. Will users be able to use this? I want my users to be able to do XYZ, but before they can do this XYZ, how am I going to ensure I build it in such a way that the users are able to what's it called now? The users are able to understand, or they can use it with little or no support. See, the best products are products that don't necessarily need somebody to teach you how to use, right? And there's this popular saying, right, that good products are built for smart people, right? Great products are built for the dummies, right? So are they able to use this product? And your designer is responsible for that. So now say this remaining two, the value and viability risk. How much value are my customers going to get from this? Is very important. Do my customers get value from this? Will they get value from this thing that I'm building? How much value are they ready to put on the table for them to get this value? Because if the value you're giving them is not more than the value they are putting on the table, it becomes very difficult for them to what's it called? It becomes very difficult for them to actually what's it called now? Come and use your products. Yes. So for example, why will I pay a certain amount? So why will I okay, yeah, this is a very practical example, right? Why will I buy an item for 10,000 naira and I'll pay 20,000 naira to ship the item to myself? Right? So that's a very great example of value risk, right? So am I going to get value? Like the value of 10,000 item that I'm buying, is it worth the 10,000 and the 20,000 shipping, which is 30,000, right? If I get it, right, it's going to help me achieve something worth more than 30,000 naira. Yes, I'm going to do it. But if it's not going to help me achieve worth more than 30,000 naira, I'm not going to do it. Right? So that is it. Then in terms of viability, right? If the business invests in this, what's the business going to get back in it from it? Right? Is it something that is viable for the business? Either mid-term, short-term, mid-term, or long-term. Yeah, so those are very, very, very important when we are talking about failures, right? So if you're able to actually solve for this, you significantly reduce your failure rate, right? And the failure of your product release. And if failure eventually happens, it's for you to learn from it and not for you to give up on whatever it is. You should learn whether you should pivot, whether you should refactor, or whether you should go at it again, right? Yeah. So that's it. Thank you.
I was able to get everything that you said, and thank you so much for raising that. Know your risks, and this will help you to learn from your failures, right? And like you said, it is okay to fail. You know that. I mean, there's chances that the first 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 products that you will build are going to be built to fail, and you just only need to pick up what you learn from there, right? And this will also help your intuition in the future, right? On how you think about your users and how you relate to some things that comes from data that data couldn't provide. Because you get to that level and understand. I mean, one thing that you're sure of is that you've gone this route and you failed. You can easily know when direction is leading there again and quickly say, you know what, guys, we can't go this way, because if we go this way, we've done it the other time and we failed. Let's try this other way. And when you try another way, you also need to understand that it's okay to fail on this one too. You just need to keep trying the next until you get it right, right? Yeah, and very importantly, right, outside all of this, you know that you are the guy who speaks for your users, so you need to make sure that the guys are getting value for your product, and make sure that in whatever you build, your users are able to use your product effortlessly. Thank you so much for that. I think we've gone past our time, and I will just like ask this very last question, right? What's like the future of product development in Africa, right? Isaac, where do you see us, the younger ones, that we are coming? Where do you see us in African tech ecosystem, right? What direction should we be paddling to?
Okay, so I think I'll break that into, let me count. I'll break that into 4, right? I'll break the next phase of the next phase of product development in Africa into 4, right? And I'm not saying they're going to happen one after the other. I think they're actually happening side by side, right? First of all, it's going to be the hyper localization, right? And what I mean by that is when we start talking about, Uber for this, Stripe for that. I think one of the first people that started that was Paystack. They started saying they are building Stripe for Africa, right?
For Africa, yeah.
And we could see how well they've actually localized, how much they've localized that payment experience, right? Yeah. So when I'm talking about hyper localization, I'm talking about people trying to build products that solve their own local needs, right? Yeah. Where there's a product like that I think is everybody's poster child in Africa. That's M-Pesa, right? M-Pesa is built so well that it's worked for people in Kenya, right? I'm not sure there's any other country where even M-Pesa themselves have been able to record such success. And why is it so? It's so because it was hyper localized for the people of Kenya, right? They're not introducing something spectacularly new. They're not introducing something, totally different. They're just saying, you know what? This is what these people do. This is their natural habitat, right? So now let's build a technology that is localized for these people, right? And I think we are moving away from that era of copying what happens in Silicon Valley and bringing it to Africa to say, oh, you know what, they're doing these, let's do it here too. They're doing that, let's do it here too. No, we have our unique local problems, right? So that's the first one. Another one is going to be infrastructure, right? Why we are building a lot of technology and stuff, why we are building most especially user-facing technology, consumer products, and different things, right? It's also very important for us to understand that we need to have the infrastructure that actually backs all these things up, right? And that's why we are having a whole lot of localized companies. For example, we have Main1, right? Building the internet infrastructure, right, for Africa. We have a lot of other companies, many of them that we don't even know their names, but what they're basically doing is they're building infrastructure that would power those hyper localized products or any other product that we're building for the local community, right? And the very interesting one that I think everybody's hyper about is globally is the AI, right? How are we able to use AI to solve real problems, right? Are we able to use AI to solve real problems? how are we able to localize those as well to solve our own local problem as well, right? The data insight that we don't have, a lot of information that we don't necessarily have access to, how are we able to use all of that, right? So those are another way we are using local, and where we can actually, I say Africa move to the next level. And finally is the offline to online, right? So the offline to online is a lot of activities actually happen offline, right? How do we move them online? For example, I know on OPay and PalmPay, Moniepoint and the likes, they allow people to now do a susu, right? Their ajo. I remember when these guys introduced group, I don't know, is it Group Financial Goal or something? What's the name again? This popular savings platform. No, not Carrywise. What's the name? This very popular one. What's it?
Piggyvest.
Yeah, Piggyvest. Yes, literally what they're trying to introduce is they're trying to introduce that same local group contribution, right? To say, you know what, hey guys, one of us will have this event that's going to happen at the end of the year. Can we start contributing 50,000 from the beginning of the year? Everybody puts their money in the same pot, right? And at the end of the year, everybody has literally contributed 600K, right? Maybe it's 10 people. 600K times 10 is 6 million, and able to host a very super nice party for themselves at the end of the year. So how do we bring those offline experience online? I think those are the 4 key areas I see Africa. I say Africa actually move to the next phase of product development. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you so much for this. I like the localized parts because I mean, there's one thing that we know today as product managers in Africa is that things that solve local needs, right? That solve things that focuses on customers here in Africa has actually grown to become global today. What they do is that when they are now thinking of global, they're now like, okay, let's put the global standard. Or when they move to emerging markets, right, they build it to localize it there, right? And I mean, this is like a fantastic approach that has been working and it's still going to be working, right? I mean, I've also like participated in a lot of products that have moved to another country, and you will see that it changes completely, right? Because I mean, the way they understand stuff in that country is completely different with the way we understand it in the first country that you built it, right? And that's what expansion is all about. That's what being global is all about, right? So you move it to another country, and whatever you are collecting is specifics of whatever they do there, right? And that thing can actually be the one that even gets better than the one that you built in another country. I mean, these are like all of the things that happen in what is it called in product management, right? Thank you for this. And I think we've gone past our time a lot, and I think this should like bring us to the end of this section today. And I'm saying a big thank you to you, Isaac, for sharing your time, your experience, and your deep insights with us today. To be honest, it has been an absolute pleasure having you here. And also to everyone who joined us. Yeah. Thank you for coming.
I think Patricia has a question, which I think, do you want me to take the question from Patricia? Patricia?
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, so I think our question is, how do you know that you've hit the product market fit, right? So I would say I'm going to quote this guy. I don't know whether it's Eric Schmidt or Bill Campbell that says, you know you've achieved your product market fit when you have the right products in the right markets to the right set of people.
Yeah.
Right? When people, you know that you've hit your product market fit when your users have actually eventually become your product evangelist. I think we also mentioned something like that at the beginning, right? So when the people use your product and they literally become the evangelist, they become your marketer, basically, right? They're your marketer, they sell your products for you. You don't even need to bother, right, with a lot of things. And that's what has actually happened to quite a number of payment solutions in Nigeria today. I don't want to mention them because I'm not marketing for anybody, right? But you know them. Almost every Uber driver and almost every, for a particular one, almost every Uber driver and every small business owner up their account,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
The other one, almost every
Yeah,
business owner who's a supermarket have their machine with them in their shop, right?
Yeah.
So, and that literally happens because it's not how much they are marketing today that's actually giving them that return. It's actually how much people are talking about that product to say, oh, you know what, this product, I use it, it worked. The right product, that's the right product, right? In the right market. Yeah, and the charges that they're charging me is not much, man. I like these charges. It's okay. It's okay. I don't mind that charges for the value I'm getting. That's the right market, right? So then the right market at the right time. It comes in at the nick of time when the big players in that space were literally either messing up or they're actually eating deep into people's pockets, right? Or they fail to meet up with their product promise. So that's when you actually know that you eat your product market. The right product at the right market at the right time. The right product in the right market at the right time. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. For sharing your time, experience, and your deep insight with us today, right? Thank you so much. It's a pleasure being here. And like to everyone who joined for turning and engaging, right? I hope you guys are living with actually new ideas and a reduced sense of product management, right? If you find anything valuable, please don't forget to follow us at ProBar across all our platforms. Sure, Patricia is going to drop our links to even to the community, right? Until the next time, I'm Muhyideen, I'm your host. We need to keep building, we need to keep learning, and we need to keep creating products that truly impact, right? Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Isaac. Thank you, Muhyideen. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Bye.
Bye.